Welcome to Fishing Britain. This week we've got the old favourites, Hooked on YouTube and Fishing Britain News. Charlie goes to a fishery and bags up. But first, Ant Glascoe Jr and I go fishing on Trawsfynydd.
In the shadow of the misty Snowdonia Park rests the dormant power station that was once the cutting edge of nuclear technology when it was opened in 1965. Built at a cost of £103 million, it was capable of supplying the whole of North Wales's electricity needs at the time. This twin-towered giant is now silent and currently being decommissioned, but the massive reservoir that was built and flooded in the 1920s, originally to supply the hydro power station, has been fished since 1953 for the wild brown trout. Now it's stocked with rainbows and some blues, and a great day's fly fishing is to be had. But we're not here for the trout, we're here for the pike. Rumour has it that only a few weeks ago a 40-plus pounder was pulled ashore, but the fisherman is keeping his pictures to himself. So when there's pike in a trout water, who do we call? Bring out the Glasgow Morgan duo.
Well, Ant, finally after 4 years of pestering,
Yep.
I've got you on Trawsfynydd. What do you think?
Apart from that, it's beautiful, mate. It is awesome.
Yeah, that is a little bit of an eyesore
Yep.
in the scenery. They are actually, I think by 10, 15 years, they'll have chopped half that down and make it look
Right.
nicer.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
to be honest with you, if it wasn't for that,
Yep.
this lake wouldn't be here. You know, I mean, it's 1,200 acres.
Yeah.
I think best plan is to go down what
Okay.
we used to call the hot water channel.
Right.
Bunny hop. There's
Yep.
really
Yep.
rocky bays and
Yep.
things like that. So
Yep.
good pike territory.
Definitely, definitely. Now, I would call that an unpredictable place. As you say, 1 minute you can be in 20 feet and the next minute a big boulder can turn up out
That's
of
it,
nowhere. They're the kind of places we want to be fishing. We want to be fishing in and around these boulders, kind of like musky fishing. In Wisconsin, the guys fish up against the big boulders.
Yeah.
I think we should try that on here today.
I tell you what, there's more cables in this boat than in my front room. It's taken us about an hour to get ready to go fishing. Enough talking.
Let's go.
Let's get afloat. Can't believe that. We haven't even started fishing and I've already hooked or caught something out of the water. Ant Glascoe Jr chucking tenors out of his pocket into the lake. We had to turn around and go get it. Oh, look at that. That's had a backtrip.
Law envy is a horrible thing, and lots of fishermen suffer with this little-known affliction. Also, it seems Hywel is getting ideas about when the fly fishing gets tough.
Most trout anglers would be pleased to catch that size. Well, I'm going to let you into a little secret here. So I've called a few favours in. Number one, mate in Finland. Right, this is called a spin tube. So it's the closest we can get to fly fishing, really. And then call Scotland to get one of these. Now, this has got a nice little feature that will enable me to retrieve this really, really slow. More of that later. So I had to leave the fly rod at home. And the thing is, if you can't beat them, you've got to join them. But it's fly fishing with a difference. And spin tubes started, they created bottle tubes for salmon anglers. They moved on to bottle tubes for trout anglers. Then they moved to jig heads, drop shotting with this Arctic fox in. And now they've gone all the way to this size of spin tubes. This is the medium weight. And I spoke to Ollie and he told me, Hywel, this time of the year, it's slow, slow, stop. Slow, slow, stop. He said, if they're chasing, you go fast, 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 stop. So that's my tactic for the day. I've gone for this colour to start with, don't know why, just like pink. Now this one's a shallow running one, so I can really, really go slow and let that hair just pulsate out.
Hywel is using the Daiwa Megaforce THS reel with a very clever feature.
Told you to mention the feature on the reel. Look at this, it's a twitch bar. So I can twitch that lure back really, really slow. The temptation when you're actually using the handle to go a little bit too fast. So I can just get that to open and close, just that hair. Arctic fox. Just really pulsing it. Ooh, I think that was bottom.
Well, we're in 5 feet of water, so with these mild conditions, I thought try a spinnerbait. Just keep it sort of shallow, maybe just under the surface, and hope for the best.
Ant's thinking is to try the shallow end first, as the mild weather we're having, maybe the pike are starting to look for spawning grounds already. Let's hope his piking skills are better than his ancient archaeological identification skills.
A what?
Cranog.
What the hell's a cranog?
It's don't know. No, it's a sunken island.
Why didn't you call it sunken island?
Because I've spent too much time in Scotland.
Yeah, but we're in Wales, we're not in Scotland, so you don't call a sunken island in Wales a cranog.
What would you call it?
Sunken island.
In Welsh.
Ynys Danadŵr.
Ynys Danadŵr.
Oh! Tanfar Pwllgwyngyll Gogeryll Gwyn Robert Llandertilio go go go.
I'm not even going there with that one.
It seems not. We have tried several lures, but even on the echo sounder, the usual banana shapes that are telltale signs of fish are nowhere to be seen. The days ticking on and the temperatures dropping rapidly. The spin tubes are being swapped out for hard plastic lures at a last-ditch attempt to see if we can locate some fish.
Yep, boat. Not what we're planning on. Hey, Ant, we could use this as bait. It's a nice one as well.
Nice fish, mate.
Fair play. Here we go.
Pike.
Well, it's fighting. There we go. It's a nice trout. Can't believe this, another trout. Tell you what, nice trout put me in a right old tangle as well. Look at him. Nice little...
Be careful what you wish for, they say. Yet Hywel still scores this as 3-0, the cheeky beggar. Now the rain is coming in and the wind has more teeth than the pike we are not catching. It looks like we might have to settle for the trout as the only catch of the day. Every fisherman knows that fish only bite when you're pouring a coffee or popping behind a tree. In our case, just as you turn off the camera to change to your very last battery.
Fish.
And the fluff chucker does it again. Get him.
Oh, it's a cracker. Woo! I just said to him we always wing one out last minute.
Oh, look at that. Big proper fish.
That is what we want.
I guess what? I'm not kissing her. Super, absolutely ecstatic. We have worked our butt off. We've covered this lake. And Ant just said to me, do you know, we always pull one out at the end. And that's a special one. Mate. See what you want. Oh, awesome.
It's tradition, have some slime. Mate, awesome, that is awesome. She's a beautiful
Let's get her
fish.
back.
Beautiful fish, beautiful fish.
Do you know what? It's worth having a soaking from a fish like that. Gets rid of all the slime that Ant just put all over my face. Isn't fishing great?
Awesome.
Fun.
2 madmen in a boat. Woo!
Right, last cast. Last cast.
Last cast.
Yeah, last cast. From e-socks to a man in his socks. Here's David with the news. This is Fishing Britain News. Natural Resources Wales wants to close 3 of its salmon hatcheries that are currently used to repopulate rivers. The move comes after research which suggests reared fish have a poor survival rate when released in the wild. The claim has been challenged by the industry. Viv Bradshaw, who runs the Llynafan Trout and Salmon Hatchery at Llandilo, Carmarthenshire, said the move would eventually see fishermen banned from catching salmon. a man has filmed himself whilst fending off a shark. Jason Dimitri was lionfish culling in the Western Caribbean Sea when the predator, he says, came out of nowhere. A chance meeting between a 16-year-old carp angler from Somerset and fly box maker Richard Weekly has created the first ever Weekly designed zig box. Jack Taylor explained zig fishing to Weekly, fishing imitation water beetles and how easy they are to damage. Behold the Jack Taylor zig box. A marlin has attacked BP's Plutino oil facility off the coast of Angola. According to a report from the International Energy Agency, the fish's spear-like nose punctured a hose connecting the giant Greater Plutino floating production, storage and offloading facility and causing a 5-day stoppage for repairs and preventing nearly 1 million barrels of oil from getting to market. Now for something boring but important.
Boring but important.
DEFRA is consulting on water abstraction throughout England and Wales. If you're a middle-aged or older angler, you might have wondered what happened to all those rivers you remember from your youth. Well, it's the fault of the 1963 Water Act. Now you can have your say in the future of abstraction by visiting the Angling Trust website. And finally, a video that was posted in January last year is finally making the rounds on social media. It shows an amazing underwater dolphin rescue by divers looking for manta rays at night in Hawaii. They spotted the dolphin swimming with the rays. It had fishing line wrapped around its left fin. It approached the divers and then put itself in a position to allow one of them to remove the hook and line. It does it time and time again until it's finally free. You are now up to date with Fishing Britain News. Fishing for facts, landing the stories.
Thank you, David. Now let's go and see what Charlie's been up to.
This is Higher Farm Fishery in Somerset, a popular coarse day ticket fishery where owner Robert Dimmond has a problem pond.
Well, it's never been that successful. We've always had the lakes, the water's always gone down, whereas my other 2 lakes have been fine ever since we built them. They haven't dropped at all. But this one is fed by this higher lake. I think there must be a seam of rock underneath. I think when it's very wet, the water comes up as springs, and then when it stops, it goes down through the same hose. Well, we found two plug holes which we've clayed up, where the water's going down like a plug in a sink, and we've always had a very difficulty in keeping water in this lake.
The 3 ponds at Higher Farm are good at producing fish, but only 2 of them are good at holding water. With the weather so unreliable these days, that means it's time to reline it.
So what we're going to do is take the water out, pump the water out, and take the fish that are in there and put in this lake. And then we're going to put a liner in there. They're going to reform the banks and the bottom of the lake, and then there'll be a 3-tier liner which will be a carpet, and then a thick plastic liner which comes in rows, and they weld the joints together so it's sealed, and then a carpet on top, and then a foot of soil on top again. I'm determined to get it right though.
It's not a quick job pumping out a pond, as this time-lapse footage shows. We have to call it a day and come back the following morning when the fog has descended, but the water is low enough to start catching and moving the fish. This is the fascinating bit, finding out what you have in your pond.
We've caught probably half a dozen over £10 already, haven't we? And there's still a lot more here. It's surprising how they will get in the mud. There's a nice one there, a couple of nice ones. Go on, Jack. Okay. It's yeah. The quicker we can get them. The good thing about this morning, it is very cold. It shuts their metabolism down a bit. They don't obviously move so much in the winter. So it's a perfect morning, really. It's close to freezing. So just moving them putting them in the digger bucket here. We take them and put them in the other lake. It is less stress as possible, really. It is a big job, yeah, but we've been plagued with this leak for so long now, and it's I'm determined to sort the leak out. And the only way we can do it is to move the fish up there and put a liner in. But it is the sort of thing that obviously a fisherman would love to do, because they've been fishing it for probably 7 or 8 years, and we only know what's in here by what they catch. But to actually see what's in here is actually wonderful, really.
Robert took about 2,000 fish out of that tiny patch of water and put them in the upper pond to live happily for the benefit of anglers whilst the relining work takes place. He didn't lose a single fish. If you want to go fishing at Hire Farm, visit hirefarm.net.
When Charlie's not moving fish, he's seeking them out on YouTube.
Charlie Jacoby here. This is my weekly roundup of the best fishing on YouTube. River Piker has just started YouTubing his fishing stuff, if that is a transitive verb. He sends in this film of a 23-pounder, his last river fish of the season. What's the technical angling term? Oh yes, in your face, Mr. Morgan, in your face. Ace Swedish channel kanalgratis.se is focusing on pike this week too. In good pike fishing in a Swedish stream which has English subtitles, 3 friends, Tobias, Edvin and Philip, are hard at work in freezing February. Staying with predators, Mark Erdwin is perch fishing on a flooded river. He also takes the time to write an accompanying blog. Dan Jones offers his compilation of the best bits of 2013 carp, coarse and Swansea video blogs. He too is a blogger as well as a vlogger. Good in-depth carp programming comes from Carp Fishing Farlow's Lake 2-day ticket diaries. It shows a variety of different swims and fish caught in them. Now let's go foreign, and a knowledge of German is essential if you want to get anything from this trout and carp fishing film from Switzerland. We Flick Fishing is out, trout fishing with the kids, hitting up small streams for local trout with Nick Day, Michael Brodrib and Chris Villani. And finally, Ultimate Fishing offers old school snapper fishing from underwater down under. Here is how to land that big snapper you dream of. Click on the links to watch the videos, or you will find them in this film's description. If you would like to send in a video for Hooked on YouTube, ping me the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv.
Well folks, that's it for another week. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to keep up to date with all the other programs on the channel, go to our website, fieldsportschannel.tv, and fill out that constant contact form. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. I'll see you next week on Fishing Britain.